Hey there, Blip here, and today for you guys I have the Fire Mage POV Mythic Stone Legion Generals kill video, where I'm going to go through the video and show you how to kill this boss as a Fire Mage, or kill this boss in general. I think by watching this video you'll probably have a good understanding of how the fight plays out, and what you need to do to kill this boss in an effective manner. Now I just want to say I'm sorry this video is out late. We actually had to relearn this fight because we actually killed this boss before it got giga nerfed. They absolutely nerfed this boss into the ground. And then obviously we extended for until we killed the Nerfs, so it took a while until we re-cleared the raid and until I could get a new tactic that's being used, so I could show you guys what we do at least to kill the boss. Either way, let's get straight into the pull. So we don't time last on pull here. In the pre-nerf version we did, but we don't do it here because we're going to phase the boss fairly fast now. And yeah, so the pull time is going to go off here. I'm going to combust fairly early now because I want to have my combust up or cooldown as soon as possible for the next skirmishes. So I always use one fire blast here at the start, and obviously you saw me use my rune of power on pull, because as you can see I'm about to combust here now, and I have to do this because, yeah, as I said, I need my combustion up for the next set of skirmishes. Now the skirmishes, whenever they drop below 30%, they're going to give you some wins, they're going to push you back, so you need to kill them off. You want to ideally kill them off one at a time. I'm just going to cleave into them and then start scorching off them, but they die so fast that it's kind of hard to do stuff here. Either way, just try and do as much damage as you can. Now the crystallizer is going to go off. I'm only going to soak this if I have bleed stacks. The skirmishers can also give you bleed stacks, which could mess you up, but otherwise you don't need to worry too much about that. Whenever the Goliath gets below 30%, obviously it's going to stop you from healing as well, so we need to be really careful about this. Obviously blades you're going to take out behind the boss, as you just saw. Otherwise, as you can see, I'm just trying really hard now to get my combustion off cooldown as soon as possible. Got the feast on me. It's really unfortunate because it slows down your crits because you can't cast, so my combustion comes up a bit later than I would have liked. Either way, you can see my combustion is going to come up soon. I'm just going to combust as soon as I can, honestly. I don't have too many fire blast charges ready, but I'm not too fussed about that because I'm just going to shifting power. But obviously this isn't an ideal situation. I would have had my combustion up nicely if I didn't get wrecked by the feast, but unfortunately I did, and that's just how it goes. Otherwise, as you can see, I'm just AoEing them down, trying to kill these skirmishers. I'm playing Flame Patch for this fight, by the way. Probably should have said that at the start of the video. But yeah, I'm playing Flame Patch because Flame Patch is best on this fight, because add damage is very important, and the bosses are pretty negligible, to be honest. So we face the boss here. We're going to take him over to this corner here. This is because when these guys die, they're going to drop orbs, and the knockback radius is huge, and we can get knocked off. I have the blade here. I look at the boss's positioning. I move out, so the blade won't hit the raid. As you can see, these red circles coming down, these are pretty terrifying actually, because they pump you and sometimes they're a bit invisible, so just watch your feet always with that. And yeah. So we're just going to keep killing the Goliath here. As you can see, we have a monk statue out there in the middle. That's going to pick up all the commandos, and then when we're ready, we're going to move the Goliath over to those commandos, and we're going to nuke them all down with our cooldowns. The hunters and mages will all have our cooldowns, and these commandos, when they get below 30%, are going to have a shield, and the shield is pretty important to kill. Now we actually soaked this crystallize here with barrier, so I just dropped my stack so I could. Got the blades here again. I'm just going to see where my teammate is and just move out, make sure the blade isn't going to go through the raid. Either way, again, as you can see, I got kind of screwed over by that blade. That means my combustion was really late to this pull. Unfortunate, but it happens. Otherwise, you guys just seem to wind up a bit better than me. As you can see, we're just bursting down the shields, we're getting the orbs. And then the people, our raider will call out one person at a time, and that each person is going to click the gateway, and then it will automatically put the orb in and not get knocked back. Remember, it's very important you stand where we are here so you don't get affected by that knockback. Now we're just killing them off slowly one by one. When they get below 30%, obviously we need to nuke them like we're doing now, because if their shield cast goes off, it's pretty much a wipe. We let one specific person always take the last orb. We still have one more skirmisher to kill though, unfortunately. I think someone fell off and died with a previous orb. And yeah, you see someone fell off there, unfortunate. But we're nuking down this shield here, very close. We finally have the last commando dead, and now we're going to put this orb into the boss when we're ready. So we're gonna get knocked into this corner here because the knockback is pretty bad. So we run over here. When he puts the orb in, we get knocked back, and then we're gonna get knocked back one more time, pretty hard. We don't stand in the corner straight away because otherwise you can bait like the red circles, and would wipe if the red circle would hit as we get knocked. And now I'm just doing my single target AoE combustion here. Sorry, just my AoE combustion, not my single target combustion. Just cleaving down the skirmishers. As I said, boss damage is something we have plenty of, so I'm not too worried about that. Skirmishers are starting to phase. I have a debuff, you see the dot on me, so I need to drop it off with the crystallize. Never really be greedy with the crystallize, always drop your stacks if you have any, because if you don't, you're really going to take a lot of damage and be destroyed by this. Now this is where some Weakauras are going to be really handy for you guys. I'm going to put them in the description. I'll talk more about it a bit later, but basically I'm always going to be soaking star, and as you can see in the top left there, like where my sequence is, I'm just going to pause the video. You can see that my name has star in it. That means that I'm always going to be stoking star unless something specific happens in the fight which will cause me to have to soak a different one. For example, if I get the AoE circle on me, I have to move out with it and drop it on a different mark, which a Weakaura is going to tell me to do. We also have a Weakaura that just, calls out for the seismic stuff, because whenever seismic upheaval comes in, we just stack up and we move to the side together like this. That way we can just completely negate most of the mechanic and we don't cut people up. Goliath is below 30%, the eruption is coming in 5 seconds, I'm going to move out to star to soak mine, and as you'll see, the Weakaura will tell me in a minute to soak star. So say soak star, so I'm just going to soak star. This Weakaura is really good for people to have, so I would definitely recommend having it. I believe your guildmaster needs to set it up though, like or your raided needs to set up like the order of things and then hand it out to everyone. Otherwise, just doing my single target rotation now. Obviously the seismic is coming in, so I have to move in my group. Saving my combustion now for the next set of skirmishes that come in, because that's where we normally use our cooldowns here. As you can see, it's not a very optimal fight, and having downtime sucks. You don't have to move into your soak really early. One thing I will say to watch out for is sometimes the Goliath might be below 30%. In that case, you need to use a big defensive, because otherwise you're going to die because you can't be healed. And it actually goes through ice block, the damage of the soak as well, so you need to be careful with that. Otherwise I'm just scorching. This is where I wanted to combust, but unfortunately the timers are really bad, and now most of the ads are dead. So as you can see, this isn't really a good fight for me. The combustions are pretty unfortunate. Just getting some unlucky timings, and that's just how it is on this fight, to be honest. Crystallize coming in, going to soak it. I see that the upheaval and the eruption could go off, so yeah. But as you can see now, I'm going to pause the video. I got the green mug this time, because obviously I have the debuff to place the circle now. So I'm going to go to wherever the marker is for me to place that, which is green this time around. So I'm always soaking star, unless this Weakaura tells me otherwise. And if it tells me otherwise, it's most likely because I have the thing that I need to place down, so I need to put it in the next position. So these will last, I believe you can spawn 8 of these eruptions, so you have a pretty large amount of people that can soak, and in general my advice to you is just to really try and help out. So the blades are coming out here. Now with these blades we always take them to the statue here, so we can just easily negate it, because obviously the boss is right there and it's going to come from the boss, so we can just deal with that really easily without anyone having to really worry. So now the eruption's coming in. I always recommend when the eruptions are coming in as a mage, staying in the middle of the room. Don't run to start straight away, because sometimes you're going to have to go to the other side of the room to place it down on square or cross. So as you saw just there, I know it's a bit behind us now, but I actually got hit by one of the dropping red circles, but because I have my circle on the floor, the seismic eruption, I couldn't actually see where that was because it was just invisible, which is unfortunate. So yeah, we soak this crystallize here, and then we're going to go out and soak. We're making sure not to push the commando and the Goliath. If we push the Goliath, we're going to be in trouble because everyone's going to get low after soaking this and they can't be healed. So the Goliath got pushed here, unfortunately, and now we're just going to pop all our combustions and all our cooldowns, and we're just going to nuke all these commandos down at once. And now we're just going to put these in and continue soaking. I believe we need one more commando now when it comes down, so we're going to kill this commando off now. We're going to soak first, and then we're going to go kill it quickly. So again, I always stay in the middle of the room because obviously you can just do one blink to get to your soak, and it's just, as a mage, it's really nice to just be ready to help other people if they need it as well. So we're going to nuke this guy down, and now we just have to worry about phasing the boss. So we're going to have to crystallize first. I believe we're going to wait for this, and then we're going to do the soak. Okay, so it turns out we need 2 commandos instead, actually. As you can see in the top, I have another Weakaura, just tracking the amount of orbs that we have. So when it's orange, that means that someone has an orb they can put in, and if it's not, that means we don't have the orb. We need 10 orbs to push the boss. And you see there's an orb right there in the middle. Now someone picks it up and we're going to push it in, put it in. We're going to run into the corner first just to make sure we get pushed into the corner. Unfortunately we get blades, but we can just wait. There's no rush as long as the orb on the play doesn't run out. Then we move in. Now we're in the corner. We're going to put the orb in and we're going to phase. Now this is the most easiest part of the boss, I would say now, because you don't really have much to worry about. So we're just going to wait a second for some of the mechanics to go off, and then we're going to bloodlust, and then we're just going to do our damage rotation. So I'm just going to combust here, and obviously I would like to drop my bleed stack here, but I can't really afford to do that, otherwise I will miss out on the combustion towards the end of the fight. So I'm just going to have to let that bleed stack stay. It's only one stack, it's not a big deal. But yeah, now just go into AoE rotation still. You still want to AoE down these ads. There's a soak on yellow I need to get, so I'm going to get that, but remember I'm staying in the middle because I could always get I could always have the opportunity to place one on the other side of the room, and that would be bad. Now I haven't talked about this mechanic yet, so I'm just going to pause this video. As you can see, I just got the heart rend debuff on me. This is something that happens throughout the whole of the fight. Basically, you'll have a 40-second dot on you, and when a healer dispels you, you'll get like a 5-second dot that just hits a lot harder. Or if they don't dispel you and it runs out, then you'll also get the dot. So really, the healers are just going to probably dispel you one by one, and then you're just going to have to spam heal that target, which is me, the mage, obviously in the situation, or other people, whoever did dispel. So watch your health whenever that is dispelled from you, or it's about to expire, because it does a lot of damage and it can easily kill you if you're not prepared. Otherwise, let's get back into the video again. We're just killing off the skirmishers. Upheaval is coming, so we get stacked on the moon marker, as you can see here. He's the one we normally stack on. It's a bit messy because obviously the winds kind of mess things up, but it's whatever. I see the eruption is coming out. My star marker isn't there anymore, you see that? So I'm keeping an eye out. I know that I'm not going to have to soak any of these, so I'm just going to see if anyone is going to be late to their mark, and I can help soak. So here, no one is actually going far on this mark over here. This isn't my soak, but since no one went for it, I just did the hero play and went and soaked it and saved us from wiping here, because that would have been very unfortunate. So I just ice block here. The ice block doesn't really do anything for the soak here, but it just makes me feel more safe, because obviously I had the bleed on me and there was a lot of damage going out, so I just used it defensively here. Otherwise, yeah, just doing my rotation as normal now, just trying to kill off all these ads, because once these ads are dead, the fight is over. We just have to not die to the seismic now. So just don't be scared to use everything. Obviously, I've used my health stone and my healing tonic already, I have nothing left. And now I have to place my mark on orange. I see that no one's going to skull. I see they get in now, so I just leave it, but I was ready to take both of them if I had to. I would have died for sure, but at least then we wouldn't have wiped. Either way, the boss is dead now. Thankfully to my hero play, we didn't wipe here. Otherwise, yeah, that's all to this fight. It is pretty rough, so I recommend re-watching some of the parts you might understand. But either way, the main thing you need to pay attention to is making sure you kill the commandos while, breaking the shields. The shields are your main priority. Try not to push your commando when people are out soaking or doing other things. You want your whole DPS roster ready to kill those. Make sure you put your orb in whenever they're ready to cool set. You just click the gateway when you have an orb and you just fly into the portal and get knocked back, so you don't have to worry too much about that. And just, yeah, in general, just remember the stuff I taught you in this fight. Don't worry too much about your combustions. I would recommend using them in the same place I did, because that's what we found worked for us, but maybe your guild is different. Maybe you need to use them in different times, but otherwise, that's all to this fight. And yeah, I hope you find it helpful. And I hope you have a wonderful day as well. If you want to help support the channel, then be sure to subscribe. You can also check out the Patreon I have in the description, and also the channel memberships if you prefer doing it that way. Yeah, I'd like to thank my YouTube and Patreon supporters for helping support this channel. Honestly, I cannot thank you guys enough. I really appreciate the support. It helps me out so much more than you think. Yeah, I'd like to thank Heaton, Inflex, Rudai Wang, Newstar, T_M, and Aaron for my YouTube members, and for my 2 Patreon supporters, Jake and Marvin. Thank you so much, guys. I honestly can't thank you enough, and I hope you all have a wonderful day as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.